What's up, everybody, and welcome to a Wednesday edition of the Ysn Power Hour. DJ Yoakley here, Quinn Pushkar from the Lisbon location. We've got Matt over in Alliance, and live from the G. Burbick Farm Studios, it is Super Dave and Scotty. Gentlemen, how are we?
Doing well.
Can't complain.
Thank you for re-implementing my super status.
Well, I mean, you were subpar for a couple weeks. We established that, but you've really pushed the level, Dave, today. I'm really proud of you, and back to the super you go. So without the cape, we'll get the cape back on you. But right now, Jordan looks like he's wearing the cape today, back in the background. So we'll get you up and going. Scotty, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, DJ, and it's great to I haven't been on the last few weeks, so it's great to be on, and I'm just stoked, and I'm digging that Strappers hat, by the way. That's dope.
This is OG stuff, man. I found this deep in the Yoakley closet this morning. I actually forgot I had it, so it was a nice little surprise. It was like getting it all over again. Today is National Running Day. So my question to you guys, I am not a running guy. Matt, I know you're not a running guy. Quinn, the furthest you've ever run was 3 yards in our 40-yard dash. My question to you guys is, what would be the most distance you would run, and what would have to happen to make you do it? So from that standpoint, and Scotty, feel free to use the rule on like how fast you can go. We know you can get up to 8 miles per hour. So however you feel like taking this one, go ahead and lead us off, brother.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought you were going to make some kind of joke crack about me not being able to run, maybe. But I don't know, man. Like you said, this chair goes, it gets to around about 8 miles an hour. It maybe tops at 7.5. So, I mean, I don't know. I just know, man, that one day, if there's any way I could run, man, with stem cell research and stuff like that, and all this modern advancements in medicine, man, I'll go full bionic if I have to, if it means I could run a little bit. But, you know, it's like I've gotten used to the chair. The chair's kind of like my car, so I take pride in it. I want it to look good. I clean it off all the time. I got my stickers on the back of it. So now I just got to get one where I can stand up, and I could always stand next to people and say, hey, I can do this. I can stand to piss. I'm the man.
Oh, jeez. Oh, boy. Dave.
Nice start. I actually ran a 5K in Charleston, South Carolina back in the
Really?
Late 80s. But that's the most distance that I've actually documented. But I used to run all the time in my 20s. I was a runner.
Did you run the whole thing?
I ran the whole 5K.
Wow.
There was like a 5K, part of a 10K too, but I only signed up for the 5K. It was down in Charleston over the bridge. That's long adventure.
Very cool. All right.
Cool to run.
Listen, the biggest reason that I'm not currently married is because my biggest fear is I will marry into a family that does those 5Ks on holidays, and I want no part in that. My personal philosophy is there's like 2 possible reasons to ever run at all. One would be that you're on fire, and the second one would be that you're being chased by something. So
what the hell did they teach you in Sebring? You're not supposed to run when you're on fire. You're supposed to stop, drop, and roll.
Listen, I'm running. If I'm on fire, I want to look like a blaze of glory.
I'm on fire, Ricky Bobby. I'm on fire. Oprah Winfrey.
Tom Cruise, use your voodoo.
Quinn, what is the furthest you've ever run? Did we document it with that 3-yard dash?
No, I had to do 100-yard sprints in high school. That was about it.
Yikes.
I don't run much. A mile. I had to run a mile. I lied. I had to run a mile. Time to mile. I was in the 5-something. I didn't.
You ran a 5-minute mile?
Oh yeah, but that was back when I was in shape and used to care. Now I don't care. Oh yeah.
This is you not in shape?
Wait, you, Quinn Pushkar, ran a 5-minute mile.
Yeah, 5-something.
I ran a
That's unbelievable.
7, I think it was.
Listen, I used to be in shape. I used to actually care about what I look like. I used to not eat fast food all the time, and now I just don't care. So, furthest distance I would run now, 4 yards, to shut you all up and say I ran 4 yards instead of 3.
I mean, I'm with Coach to a degree. Like I run, I want to say every other day at this point. Last year I got a little overzealous and ran almost every day, but I do it so I don't die, as opposed to like it's a necessity, as opposed to I want to do it. Like nothing about it makes me feel good or gets the endorphins going. It's like by necessity, so my sugar level stays down. So it's exercise or don't eat sugar.
I've never understood those people that enjoy running.
The run for fun people?
Yeah.
I married one. I mean, and she was a thrower. But she still enjoys running. She gets something out of it. I'd have no idea. Like,
you reach that runner's high, man. It's addictive.
They talk about this runner's high. Like,
Yeah.
And I've had the lifter's high.
Yeah.
But I've run considerable distances, and I've never been like, whoo, baby, that's good. Like, they talk about this wall you have to get through. Like, where the hell is this wall? Because either I'm not running far enough to get to it, or like, give me a GPS to this wall.
Listen, they talk about fun run and enjoying running, and every time I've ever run in my life, I've like lost the will to live.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Every time I'm done with my run, I question immediately why I did it.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like that immediate form of regret where you're like, that was the dumbest thing I ever did.
Yeah, why did I do this? Like, I almost rather be on my deathbed and be like, okay, well, at least I didn't run. I'm not that guy. Like,
Yeah.
When's National Sitting Day?
I mean, to us, that's every day, right? That's every day, and we celebrate it greatly here at YSN. So happy National Running Day to everybody, all you runners out there. You'll see me at the park tonight because I'll be out there. Alexis Cunningham runs 100 miles a week. She's crazy. I think that's the East Palestine girl. She is a running machine.
That's insanity.
She runs around the park like the way I sprint around the bases. That's the way she runs the park. It's crazy.
Wow.
Crazy.
It's impressive.
It's very impressive. And like she runs in the morning, she runs in the afternoon. I mean, she has to run 100 miles in a week. But she is a top-notch runner. I enjoy racing people, but not running for fun. I think that's why I enjoy baseball and like men's slow pitch softball so much, because I enjoy going to like one spot and stopping. And I'm like, okay, collect your breath. Okay, next spot, like stationary. Like if I ever hit the ball in the gap, which happened unfortunately a lot for me, like doubles, I was like, oh, come on, man. And if they bobbled it in the corner, you're like, oh, triple.
Oh, he's motioning for me to come to third.
Yeah, come on, man. Like, I'm not fast. Yeah, that's the worst. People talk about triples all the time. They're the most exciting play in sports. Listen, for the guy running, it sucks.
Yeah.
And heaven forbid you get an in-the-park home run. In East Palestine, when we went, there was no fence. So you just kept running. I almost envied my buddy who hit it. And if you've ever been to East Palestine Park, you know that there's the baseball field, like 370 feet, basketball courts, tennis courts over here, and then there's Rainbow Dreamland. He two-hopped Rainbow Dreamland and got thrown out at second base.
No.
Yeah, the kid raced into Rainbow Dreamland, got the ball, threw it to the cutoff person, double cut, thrown out at second base. He tripped over first base, but it was hilarious.
So in Sebring, we had two baseball fields that kind of faced each other. And there was, significant distance in between. I'm not sure exactly how many feet, but I remember seeing kids that would hit it to the pitcher's mound on the other field. And they'd just be like, all right, run them.
What is Amo running for? President.
That's it. Yep.
Treasurer. That's what he's running for. He's not doing any mileage. I can tell you that right now.
So I do still race the kids once a year.
And this year, since you told us that earlier, it will be filmed.
Yeah.
And it will be mic'd up, by the way. So you're going to be our first installment of mic'd up.
It won't be like Noah or Elijah. I'm not racing the twins.
No, they have to be in there. At least one of them has to be in there.
I'm racing like the slowest or the fastest of the linemen.
The fastest of the linemen?
Yes.
So I would say
Like
here's
an
the way I would
oxymoron.
like to see it happen. I would like, since you have the sidelines, right, and
Right.
then you have the hashes.
Yep.
I would like to see one of the Frederick brothers, the fastest lineman, the slowest lineman, and you. And I want to see kind of like because since we don't have the technology to kind of show the track,
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
just literally just shoot all four of you, and we'll get the drone and just carry on the entire time.
Ammo's got my kid.
Nailed him.
Yep.
All right, a lot to talk about, guys. So happy National Running Day to you and all that you will take part in the day today. But we have some things to talk about. First and foremost, here at YSN, we have a Pitcher of the Year, and it belongs to McDonald's Brie Callow. So let's pull up her graphic real quick. There she is, the Pitcher of the Year, Brie Callow. Let's talk about her and these unbelievable stats, guys. Think about this for a moment, okay? So obviously, Brie Callow awarded the 2021 Your Sports Network Softball Pitcher of the Year. The Lady Blue Devils senior compiled an unbelievable resume during the final campaign. 135.1 innings her senior year, racking up, listen to this, 308 strikeouts. 308 strikeouts while only walking 11 batters the entire year. Callow also drummed up a minuscule 1.1 ERA from the circle while, again, this is interesting, 5 no-hitters that included 2 perfect games in 2021. Unbelievable. And she's going to take her talents to John Carroll and the first ever Pitcher of the Year. So congratulations to Brie Callow, who deservedly so. And we've talked about this. There's a lot of kind of hoopla about who votes for this and why why this person or why that person. Listen, there's a lot of pitchers to choose from. Yesterday there was a lot of offensive players to choose from in both sports, baseball and softball. Let me tell you, it comes down to statistics. It comes down to the level of competition. It comes down to, like, I don't think anybody was close. I could be way off base here. I don't think anybody was close to 308 strikeouts.
No.
At least the numbers that I was provided. So,
well, and you look at that, and it's the entire body of work, and then you add in the fact that they made it to the district finals, and all of that kind of plays into it too. And so, when you kind of look down the list and you look at all of the statistics and all of the achievements and everything that happened this year, Brie just stands out.
And she does for several reasons. I mean, you talk about her strikeouts, walking only 11 batters.
Yeah.
I mean, that's unbelievable. Imagine if that happened in Major League Baseball. You strike out 308 guys in a year and you only walk 11. Like,
you'd make like $700,000 a year.
They renamed the Cy Young Award after you
yes.
at that point. So, and by the way, just 5 no-hitters in 1 year. No big deal.
Yeah.
2 perfectos.
That's another thing about it, DJ, is baseball is such a numbers baseball and softball, like such a numbers driven game that, I mean, I don't see how you could, like you said, the 5 no-hitters, 2 perfect games, all the strikeouts, just over 10 walks for the whole season with that's just like, I mean, something like that wouldn't be easy to do on like a video game.
No, and you're exactly right, Scotty. And you look at some of the people that were pushing her, against the Player of the Year. I mean, you have Brie Kohler, Jordan Anderson, Lydia Spalding. I mean, just to name a few, and they didn't get the award. And you sit there and you go, those are elite level pitchers, and there's so many more pitchers that could have, won this going away. And then you see that and you go, how do we turn that away? How do we not highlight that and say that you're the Player of the Year? I mean, Pitcher of the Year, rather.
And that's what's fun about it too is, I mean, it's so hard to pick these things. And at the end of the day, we're very blessed that we've got a bunch of guys and girls that really enjoy watching sports and enjoy seeing a ton of games from these players that are in our YSN family. And so it's a blast for me to sit back and watch some of the conversations happen and be a part of some of the conversations that go into picking these sort of awards.
And the thing is, Matt, is we're not going to shy away from naming
No.
and crowning somebody. I mean, we went in. This was huge deliberation. We went
Yes.
into a room like this privately, and we said, okay, let's talk about who do you think should be in the conversation. I mean, you go from 47 names down to one is essentially what we did, and you knock it down pillar to pillar. Bomb, 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 bomb. I mean, Emily Holland was in that conversation as well. And you look at, but you look at, okay, can anybody outdo this? Can anybody outdo this? And we have 3 awards to give. And it's not a situation where, if that one person, we talked about it yesterday offline, if there was one person that could sweep the entirety of the softball or baseball awards, we would do it. But I think it speaks more to the level of what we have in this area and what we have at our partner schools of how good baseball and softball is that we can't just pick one. It's incredible to me. So congratulations to Bree Callow of McDonald, your YSN softball player or softball pitcher of the year. And now for the baseball side, let's congratulate Mr. Brandon Mikos of South Range, your YSN pitcher of the year in 2021. Mikos, of course, a senior, has put together quite the season for the Raiders, pitching 56 innings, facing 198 batters to the tune of a 9-0 record for the Raiders. Mikos has also gathered 104 strikeouts while walking only 9 guys the entire season. 9 guys, not even double digits.
9.
Only 25 hits have been scattered throughout the season against Mikos, while only 4 have crossed the plate on the Raiders while Mikos is on the bump. More impressively, Mikos carries the ERA of .25 during his senior campaign. And of course, Brandon Mikos will be headed to Youngstown State University to join Danny Bertolini and the Youngstown State Penguins in the fall. So congratulations to Brandon Mikos on a stellar career. Best of luck, especially this week as the Raiders fight in the regional semis.
That's right.
And we'll have it right here on YSN. I know
Can't wait.
you are going to have the call, Coach.
I am, yeah. Billy Mack and I are going to be out there for that one, and really looking forward to it. I think we're probably going to see Mr. Mikos on the hill there, and definitely looking forward to that. It'll be my 3rd time seeing South Range this year, so I'm excited because even though I've seen him 2 times already, I haven't seen Mikos on the hill yet. So I'm really looking forward to hopefully getting an opportunity to see that.
This is a good question from Amo saying, was Kohler the next in strikeouts on YSN?
I think so, but I don't have the stats right in front of me.
I think it was close. Anthony might have to pipe in on this one. I think Spalding had a fair share as well.
Yeah.
And Jordan Anderson had a nice little run in West Branch as well. So if
I remember right, there were 3 or 4 that were pretty close together in strikeouts, and then the other stuff was kind of where it went.
Callow, when you looked at the strikeouts, it was Callow and then a drop off and then everybody else.
Yeah.
308 strikeouts is
That's
insanity.
a bunch.
It's insanity. But when you look at Brandon Mikos, you look at a kid who, in the face of adversity, he was supposed to be the number 2 starter. South Range was set. 2 bullets in the chamber. They're ready to go for playoff baseball. You've got Jake Gehring going 1. You've got Brandon Mikos going 2. That is a 1-2 punch, ladies and gentlemen. And then everybody knows the story about Jake. A tough year for him. You lose him for the entirety of the year. And Brandon stepped up in a big way. And when I say big, I mean to the point of he's the pitcher of the year. So imagine him and adding Jake to this, and you guys are going 1-2. South Range would be nearly untouchable. They're already nearly untouchable now, getting things together. So congratulations to Mikos. Again, he faces 198 batters, and he has 104 strikeouts.
And I think the really cool thing about both of these pitchers is that if you talk to either one of them, they'd give a ton of love to their battery mate behind the plate too.
Absolutely.
And I love to see that. And, great pitchers are partially great because of the stuff that they've got, but there's a big part of it that's that catcher behind the plate helping them out too.
Well, I did an interview with Trey Pancake, who is the battery mate of Brandon Mikos, and he said, I call the pitches. So you look at that and you go, That's pretty impressive.
Okay.
That 17 strikeout game now, you look at it, it's Mikos and it's Pancake, because as a catcher, I'm always going to give credit to a catcher that's calling his own pitches. I mean, that's...
And I think that would be the case with both of these kids, is that they would tell you, hey, this is a shared award between me and my catcher.
And your defense. I mean, naturally, there's plays that your defense pulls out for you. So I'm excited for these kids. I know Brandon Mikos very well. I know his mom is over the moon happy, as well as his dad. And I know this is a big award for the Raiders, because, I mean, it comes down to pitching at the end of the day when you're talking about championship runs. And I think, you look at Brandon Mikos, and he could be the horse for them down the stretch. They got, 4 more games to win and hopefully hoisting a championship trophy. So we'll see how it goes. Congratulations to both Brandon and Bree on being the pitchers of the year here on YSN. We got one more award to hand out tomorrow, and that is the YSN Player of the Year. And you ask, what does that mean? It's just the all-encompassing. They get it done maybe defensively, they get it done on the mound or in the circle, and they also get it done in the box. So we've had main discussions about some of these people, and some of these people are they just get it done all the time. This was the one that got heated. This was the Player of the Year was the one on both sides, from softball and baseball. This turned into a heated discussion at YSN. So make sure you tune in tomorrow. We'll have that for you. I will actually not be on the Power Hour tomorrow, because we will have Salem and Canfield going head-to-head on the network. And again, $9.99 gets you that game and any other game that happens that includes the South Range game against Gilmore, which, Matt, you will have with Billy Mack. I think that's, to me, that $9.99 ticket is worth its weight in gold tomorrow, just those two games alone.
You've got 2 options. You've got the option of going to a game in person and paying $10 per person. So, for a family of 4, you're looking at $40, or enjoy it from the comfort of your own home and listen to DJ calling the first game and Billy Mack and I with the second game, and enjoy whatever beverage you like.
That's it. And a little surprise for everybody. I'm not even sure I told you guys. Richie, the voice of the Youngstown State Penguins and the voice of the Canfield Cardinals, will be joining me for the call tomorrow. So we'll have one guy that's probably for Salem. I'll have to take off my Canfield hat, at least for the moment. And then we'll have, of course, Richie, who is his brother, Josh, is the offensive player of the year. So excited for that. Oh, boy, here we go.
And then you'll have there he is.
Thought you weren't coming.
3:30, man. I brought my computer. Said, I'm not missing this show.
That a boy. We love seeing that. We got a lot to talk about, Billy. And I mean, let's get your take on the pitchers of the year real quick. I mean, you were one of the guys that were pretty much spot on with everybody we've chosen so far. How do you feel about Mikos? How do you feel about Callow?
Yeah, I mean, I think with Mikos, it's hard to argue 0 ERA, right? I mean, listen, we're blessed. So I love seeing the Twitter and the come, and trying to root for your player. And we love that. I mean, we want more stats. The best way to get your players known is having game changer. I mean, really, if you have game changer, it makes our life so much easier that we can kind of go in and say, XYZ, here's ERA, here's strikeouts, here's this, here's that. And then we get a chance to debate them and kind of, we have a lot of baseball people and softball people that, that we come together and we talk about all these things. And such an amazing thing for Brandon, and good luck to the future YSU Penguin. And they're making a run tomorrow at it. So for the regionals. And with Bree Callow, I mean, with her, to me, this one was, you can argue it, but it's hard to argue. 300 and what strikeouts?
8. Yep.
5 no hitters. I mean, what are we talking about here, right? 2 perfect games. Wow. You know what I mean? Wow. Yeah, there's some really good softball pitchers in the area, but to me, none stack up when it comes to the statistics with Bree Callow.
Yeah, I mean, you can argue some of and that was the biggest one, right? And we're not going to hide anything. People said, well, what's the level of competition? Tori Long.
Don't care.
Her name
not
came
her fault.
up in conversation. It's not, you got to beat who's in front of you.
Yeah. Yeah, you mow down whoever you play. I mean, listen, the people used to make fun of the Ohio State football schedule every year, but they were in the national championship game. You feel me? So, like, I don't care of who they play, who she played, and what they played against. Her job was to go out there and mow down whoever's in front of her, and she did very well just that. So, if we're going to start counting for who played who and da-da-da-da, I mean, you could break that down if the numbers are right down narrow, but it wasn't. Strikeouts, like you said a little bit ago on the show, it was Bree Callow, and then there we go. There's the next person. So that to me separated her. And
if there's somebody out there that wants to pay for us to bring on an analytics person and be able to like give FPIs and RPIs and all that kind of stuff, God bless you. But I don't know. God, there's freaking all kinds of analytical crap out there.
That's what Clint's supposed to do. He's supposed to get the FBI going.
Whip. What was her whip?
That's what Ron does. Ron gets he says he hates sabermetrics, but he was getting Mikos' whip at like 0.6 or something like that. And like I'll be the first to. I'm not a I like sabermetrics, but I'm not digging into them. I'm not a numbers guy when it comes to that stuff. Like you tell me what it is.
I love the whip. The whip.
Cool.
The whip to me is the ultimate statistic for pitching.
Yeah, I like strikeouts.
Not ERA and runs scored. I mean, listen, strikeouts are awesome, but not everybody is a strikeout pitcher. Whip to me is a great stat.
But when you face 198 batters and you strike out 104 of them, that speaks to what you're at. And the NE8 isn't exactly a bad conference.
Listen, I thought the whip was a dance.
The nay-nay.
Looking good.
All right, so congratulations to those guys. We're going to take a break. When we come back, still a ton to talk about. We're going to get Scotty and Super Dave engaged in Coach K, hanging it up. I know Quinn is a little bit distraught over this. He's already looking at the heir apparent to the Duke
I love it.
head coach.
I love it. Quinn
Down goes Duke.
Quinn won't put his name in for the jobs around here, and we try to push him too. So, Brad Stevens is also going to be the new Celtics, GM or head of basketball operations.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that because I'm not sure that there's a apples to apples comparison there. Quinn seems to think there is, but Quinn also likes a guy named LeBron, and LeBron had a bad night last night. Walks off the court again. With over 5 minutes remaining on the clock, we're going to talk about how many times does he become the villain and then complain about it here on this show. And then finally, of course, Myles Garrett retiring from the pickup basketball game, says Kevin Stefanski. We're going to talk about if you like your star players playing pickup basketball or any other sport other than the sport they're getting paid millions and millions of dollars to do. And, of course, the G. Burbick Farms, what's your beef, what's your filet? What is that?
This is our NABF sign. Astros, baby.
Congratulations. We're happy for your sign. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more on the Ysn Power Hour right after this. Brought to you by these great sponsors. Stand by.
Your first and last stop with your tax return should be with me, Tracy Bryden at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. No other dealer goes the extra mile to bring you the largest selection of vehicles at one convenient location. With guaranteed credit approval, I will find you the right vehicle and the right financing options for you. I am ready to go the extra mile to show you why no other dealer sells more cars, finances more, and gets you more for your refund than Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
Jimmy Sutton here, Director of Isle, Purple Cat, and Golden String. We are happy to support YSN and 2 of my favorite people, Scotty Mincher and Super Dave O'Malley. We are an agency that provides services for adults with disabilities. We infuse humor, passion, and joy into their lives. If If you know of any folks with disabilities that need our assistance, please contact us.
Your teams work hard and give it all they've got. Well, so does ours, because 21 Sports and YSN give you extra effort when covering local sports. 21 Sports and YSN, winning coverage of our Valley's teams.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the YSN Power Hour. We want to thank a few people before we engage in the next conversation. Our partners, first and foremost, over at Channel 21 WFNJ. We want to thank the entire 21 sports team. I know you can always get your great highlights and great information on their website. And, of course, during the 6 and 11 o'clock news right at the end of the show there. And we're just so grateful for everything that Channel 21 WFMJ does for us and with us. A special thanks to the whole team over there, especially Jack Gerdick, who has believed in YSN since basically our inception. So thanks to them. Thanks to iSynergy, WRS Wealth Advisors, K-Squared Marketing, Myers Family Insurance, Berlin Lake Golf Club, and, of course, our friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet. Guys, before the break, we kind of kicked it up and said, if I guess we're just saying Coach K is retiring following this season, is there an heir apparent, Quinn? Is there somebody that can step in and really take over that program and keep it to where it's been for so many years? Or is this the beginning of the end for the Dukies? Quinn, take it away.
I mean, it's not a beginning of the end. There's always going to be Duke. It's the same with UNC. It doesn't matter. They're going to be the same. John Shire is most likely going to replace Coach K. And if he doesn't, I would be very surprised at who does. I think Brad Stevens very well could be a replacement. But he also didn't leave for Indiana when he's from Indiana. So I don't know. It's going to be a high
job has been for Brad Stevens. Every coaching job available in the entire country in NBA has been Brad Stevens has got to go here.
That's what happens when you're one of the best young minds in basketball. But that's beside the point. John Shire,
you're one of the best young minds in basketball.
Who's that? Me? No.
You.
No.
You are the Brad Stevens of this area.
No. No. I'm good.
You have the same amount of championships so far.
Also won't leave.
I have as many championships as Brad Stevens, yes. I know. It's okay. John Shire will be the replacement for Coach K, and I think he will be fine. He's recruited Jason Tatum. He's recruited Luke Kennard, Cam Reddish. He's recruited some of the high-profile guys for Duke, so I fully believe he will be fine.
We're going to talk about that, Paige. Why don't you join us before the break when we do the tease? So here's another question. Add on to it, make a little bit of a local spin. Who is the one coach that you feel like is, I don't know, Coach K-esque with that kind of aura about them? And you know, if the program left, it would be tough shoes to fill here in local basketball.
On the girls' side, probably Coach DeShields at West Branch.
That's fair.
And just basketball-wise, because I'm sure we can get into it for a lot of things. Coach Shields for girls, and I would say Coach Grisdale for Poland boys would be two Coach K-like people. Okay. To me, at least. To me.
I think I would agree with that, and also throw in there that, you know, Coach DeShields followed up a legend in his own right in Chuck Campbell before that.
Amos and DeShields as well, and I think that's a fair assessment. Interesting you said Coach Grisdale, because he did step away. And it's going to be interesting. You know, same colors, blue and white, as Coach K. I mean, I think that the Bulldogs are in good hands. I mean, you look at that. Yeah. John Cullen's in the same situation. A great program in South Range kind of brought them back after a few years. I think South Range is always going to be one of those programs you never kind of count out. But at the same time, I mean, is this a situation where now, you know, is there another team out there, I guess, is what I'm asking, that you look at and you go, okay, they might take a step back, but they'll fire back on all cylinders within a couple of years if they have the right hire? East Palestine comes to mind. I mean, you look at, for me, it's because I'm homegrown here in Bulldog country. Tom Bingham, for a long time, just strung together championship after championship after championship, to the point where it was unfair. I mean, there was a lot of good basketball in the late 90s, early 2000s, and then beyond, and then Coach Bingham came back again. We had the news break yesterday with Jason Ray, one of our very own, going to take over the reins at East Palestine. I'm interested to see how it goes because Jason did a great job on the sidelines with the East Golden Bears, and he's going to bring a certain, I want to say, cachet to the Bulldogs. Quinn, you and I talked about it before. Maybe not Coach K-esque, but is there a situation where this could be an opportunity for East Palestine to take a step forward?
Yeah. Having the years that they've had, there's been success coming through, and they went through a little bit of a down year, but I guess their junior high classes are pretty solid coming up. And, being at Lisbon, I've scouted them for a long time, and I've gotten to kind of see the program as a whole. And there's potential there. I'm not going to say there's not, because there is. There's definitely potential, and I think Coach Ray is going to do a great job.
This is an interesting comment. Chris Sigler, we call him Siggy, says, willing to bet Coach K can see what's coming with college athletics and decided he's done. Billy, we talk about the transfer portal all the time. Do you think Coach K is just going to sidestep this and say, not dealing with this?
Can we just talk about the fact that Duke is a bunch of cheaters anyway? Like, they pay their players to come there. So what is he talking about with college athletes, what they're coming? Like, they've already paid their players buku money. And he's a coach for the Olympic team. Like, come on.
I think that you're confusing them with a team with a different shade of blue in Kentucky.
Oh boy!
Listen, he hasn't been caught and he hasn't been busted and nothing's been wrong. Kentucky is fine.
How many?
The best teams money can buy.
You're talking about a coach who once said, "I'll never be the coach who takes one and dones," and then all of a sudden, here you go, Kyrie. Here you go, Tatum.
Listen, when you have to adapt, you adapt. You just adapt.
So which side of the fence are you on, Coach? Which side of the fence you want to be on? You want to be on the Kentucky side, or they do it, or you want to be on the, hey, if you have to adapt and you got to make a move, you got to do what you got to do. Which side of the fence you want to be on, Betos?
Listen, you adapt to what you have to adapt to.
Clap out.
So you're on the side of cheating. Okay, here we go. This is what
How
we're
is
going to
that cheating? How is
okay for
working
cheating
within the bounds of the rules cheating?
Listen, Cal hasn't cheated at Kentucky. He cheated at Memphis with Derrick Rose because Derrick Rose was an idiot.
Listen, and all the women out there that have ever dealt with a cheating husband are going to tell you that once a cheater, always a cheater.
School in Kentucky. That's
He's
Louisville.
a cheater.
That ain't us. That's Louisville.
No, that was strippers.
Oh,
All the
jeez.
same.
Scotty, how do you feel about
going on right now?
how are you feeling about Coach K? Is this a scenario where Duke can rebound with the right hire, or do you think that Dookie is done forever?
Yeah, no, I kind of Quinn, when he was talking about it earlier, I thought he put it pretty well. I do think because they're Duke, to agree with the 1 point Quinn made, that like the Duke brand is always going to be there. It's kind of like the Yankees or somebody like that, where even if they don't win the World Series every year, it's still the Yankees. I know it's different because the Yankees, they have one of the top, if not the top payroll in baseball. Like every year,
Scotty, Duke does too.
With the
Easy, Kentucky.
I think there's always there's that saying, you want to be the guy that follows the guy. You don't want to be the guy following the legend. But I think there's the minds in sports, the great minds are getting younger and younger, and we're seeing younger and younger people hired to be head coaches and GMs in other sports. And I really see that continuing. So I think Duke, they might not get a guy that's going to win 5 national titles, but I still think they're going to be ranked and be relevant every single or most.
All right, let's turn the page.
Duke should keep up the trend and hire Grant Hill. That's who they should hire.
They're not going to hire Grant Hill. They're going to hire John Sire.
They need to hire Christian Laettner.
I hate Christian Laettner, by the way.
Well, he hates you too, so don't worry about it.
Kentucky guy that hates Christian Laettner.
Shocker.
I hate Leitner.
Brad Stevens. Everybody talks about Brad Stevens as being, I mean,
I met him
Billy.
at Bigley.
What's that?
I met Brad Stevens at Bigley.
Yeah, because he was there, what, once or twice a year?
I saw him. I saw both years Butler won the national championship at Bigley.
I like Brad Stevens. I don't think this is a good idea. Brad Stevens to be the new Celtics general manager. And
Basketball operations.
Patino tried that, didn't he, with the Boston? Patino tried the same thing and failed miserably.
I just don't like the.
Patino stinks.
So does. Let's be honest.
Well,
why is Brad Stevens so high on everybody's radar when he hasn't won anything?
Because he took Butler to 2 national championships.
Yeah, that's crazy good.
So what?
And he's 44 years old when everybody else in the league is 90.
Doing it in 1 year is one thing.
That's true.
But then losing
I'm
Gordon
with
Hayward.
DJ on this.
Like he hasn't won anything. There's no culture there of victory.
Listen, I got to go back to like a couple years ago when Boston had all these draft picks and they had all this talent. And they got 1-2 punch and Tatum and Brown, and then what have they done since then? They've missed on their draft picks, completely busted on them. They didn't trade away assets to go get a superstar to come in there and take over their program to make them back to elite. For 5 years in a row, you heard about how young Boston was, how great they're gonna be, and first round exit, second round exit, lost to the like what are we talking about here?
At some point,
why is he this great hero of Boston?
He's a great recruiter. That's what he was at Butler. He was a great recruiter. He got great talent to come to Indiana and say, listen, we're gonna pay you to come here, and you're going to get a scholarship, and we're going to compete for a national title. You can't do that in the NBA. You can't recruit unless you're LeBron James. You can't do it. And now you're going to put him in a general manager role to do what? To do what? Like, he hasn't won anything.
He's going to be basketball operations.
That's
so he's
the
not
same
going to
thing.
be.
It's a fancy name for general manager. Just like if I said that I'm going to pass you the Mustard or the Grey Poupon, it's still mustard.
So he's not coaching then? He's not going to coach next year? No. So the greatest mind in basketball, the greatest, youngest mind in basketball is not even going to be a stinking coach next year.
Don't you worry, Paige. We're coming at you right after this segment. I cannot wait for it. I mean, takes on this, Scotty? I mean, you like Brad Stevens? You think he's going to do well?
I do not, and I this is one of the few times I've been on the Power Hour where I totally disagree with Quinn. I love you, Quinn, but totally disagree here. I think the Celtics, like Billy Mack said, they've done these things and made all these moves the last years. And a couple years ago, everybody was like, "Oh, the Celtics, oh, Brad Stevens, they could be the next dynasty in the Eastern Conference, and they're going to do so many great things." They haven't done anything. I just don't get the infatuation. Not saying that, Brad Stevens is garbage, but what makes him, I don't get the infatuation with him as a basketball mind. What makes him smarter than just because he's young too. They talk about his age. Doesn't mean he's smarter than somebody in their 60s.
And not to mention, NBA coaches are overrated. All of them, outside of Phil Jackson. All of them are completely overrated. It's a superstar-driven sport. All you need to have is the best players.
Pat Riley, he gets.
Okay, we'll get. So you were talking about 2 of 30 teams of every year. There's a turnover rate is ridiculous for the NBA. If you want to be a coach, and Brad Stevens should go back to, if he's getting an opportunity to coach Duke, he should take it and run with it. He'll have it forever.
I'm going to say one thing about the Celtics. They used to have a young genius coach who stepped down from coaching to take the same job that Brad Stevens has taken. His name was Red Auerbach, and he did quite well at that position. So.
Did he win it? He won a couple of championships, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Bill Russell.
Yeah, well,
Quite a few.
well, when Brad Stevens wins a couple championships, then we'll say, go ahead, you can
He's
be
going
like
to go
Red
to
Auerbach.
Duke. Plan's already set. Carol Lawson left the Celtics to go to Duke. So is Brad Stevens.
So here's what's interesting to me is the odds have come out on who the next Duke coach will be, and they've got 10 guys listed, and Shire's got the best odds. But then going down the list, it goes Woj at Marquette, Bobby Hurley at Arizona State,
Hurley, yeah.
Jeff Capel at Pitt,
Mhm.
Mike Bray at Notre Dame, Chris Collins at Northwestern, Scott Drew at Baylor,
Terrible.
Quinn Snyder with the Jazz,
I thought he was going to say
No.
Card.
Chris Beard with Texas Tech, and Jay Bayless.
So he's not
Well,
even on the
Chris
list. Jay
Beard-
Bayless.
That's a pretty good list.
Yeah,
actually.
Jay Billis will be there. Chris Beard's off that list because he just signed that massive deal with Texas.
Yeah,
So that's not going to happen. The guy at Marquette, I think, got fired this past year.
Woj,
Yeah.
So there's
So
a
that-
long-time Mike Krzyzewski assistant.
Yeah. But then there's the guy at UCF, Johnny Dawkins. He was a player at Duke, longtime assistant at Duke.
Do you think
Then there's
they're
another guy.
they'd
The guy at
entertain-
Harvard.
Do you think they'd ever entertain Ron Potesta?
Brad
maybe.
Stevens is not even on the list.
Maybe. He
Listen,
wasn't
if
on the
it's-
Indiana list either, though, until the end of it,
If
towards the
he's
end.
not on the Vegas list, I'm not betting on Brad Stevens.
Yeah,
Just saying.
It's Shire's job to lose.
I would think.
It's going to be interesting, and let the farewell tour begin. We're going to see rocking chairs and all pieces of floor and all that stuff. I mean,
Shire's gotten K's blessing, so it's
Yeah.
pretty much Shire's job to lose.
do you think that's a situation where Coach Krzyzewski has a say in this?
100%.
I would
100%.
think. Listen,
It's going to be whoever K says.
I sort of lived through this when Rick Brook left Sebring, and he definitely had a say in Brian Clark being his successor at Sebring High School.
It worked out
interesting.
pretty well.
Yeah, it's worked out okay.
Yeah.
Let's get to another topic here, which I'm so excited to talk about. You ready, Quinny? LBJ leaves the court again. Again with time on the clock. This is over 5.5 minutes and being blown out by the Suns. At what point does this guy just stay there? Just stay on the floor for your team. Because when you look over and you don't see your guy, that says something to the 5 guys on the floor.
Well, they're all worried that they're going to go into the locker room and LeBron's going to cut them.
The 5 guys that shouldn't be on the floor anyway.
Well, he didn't do too well on the floor last night. If they're losing by 30.
24, 7, and 5 or something like that.
That's super. They lost by 100.
They lost. First half, they didn't play defense. They didn't rebound. Dig a big hole.
I mean, look, he's your leader, right? He's the leader of this team. And we've heard him cry already. Well, I don't have anybody else. And like the LeBron apologists are coming out. Come on, man. Like, come on. Stay seated. Stay there for your team. If it's triple zeros, walk away. 5 minutes left, Quinn. 5 minutes. We've seen LeBron do LeBron things with 5 minutes left on the clock. Detroit. Anybody remember that one?
Not when you're down 30.
Well, I'm
It
just
took
saying.
double overtime in Detroit.
I'm just saying. Like, come on, man. Be a leader. Be somebody that we can respect. This stuff, it's like he likes playing the villain, but doesn't like to be the guy, have the finger pointed at him in situations like this. Not that he cares what we think, but reality is this. There's little kids looking up to him. And can you imagine being a amateur basketball coach at this point in time, and little Luke is his team's down by 10 and he just walks off the floor? Like, what would you do? And what can you say? Because LeBron did it.
Right.
You're not getting paid $38 million.
It puts coaches in a terrible spot.
It's real bad because just 10 minutes ago, I was doing some baseball lessons and we're talking about some of the techniques that Tatis he's been on a tear. We're talking about what he does. So we're forcing these athletes to hey, you should pay attention to what the pro level guys are doing because they got there, right? So you're talking about on one hand, hey, look at their swing or look at their shot or something, and then you go in the same breath, you're but don't mind what they do walking off the court. Like like you can't have it, you know what I mean? Like both ways. It's just a bad spot. It doesn't look good. And LeBron at this point, he doesn't care. He doesn't care. And you know what? I used to be on this LeBron train. I'm over it because he put this team together. He did. Okay, he wanted to go there. He wanted AD. He got AD. He wanted to keep Kuzma. He kept Kuzma. Good luck with that. 6 for 29 last night. So, yeah, he stinks, but that's the guy you wanted. Okay, you wanted to get rid of Ingram. You got rid of Ingram. That's the guy you should have kept. Okay, that was the guy you should have kept. And some of these other pieces, you're bringing these. Schroeder stinks 0 for 9 last night. Didn't even make a shot. How do you play the entire game as a point guard and not have a single point? How?
Because you got to dish it to 23. That's the problem.
He
23
had
is
2
running
assists.
the show.
He had 2 assists, so wasn't even dishing it to him.
I am so over, and I've been, you could see this coming. Right? Because LeBron gets what LeBron wants, and he's got it for a long, long time now. I was one of LeBron's biggest fans. Loved him when he was in Miami, followed him there because nobody else did. Okay, you want to go win championships? I get it. I understand it. Everybody else is burning his jersey. Now, everybody's an apologist for this guy because he won one stinking championship in Cleveland and bolted. He left. He doesn't care about Cleveland. He doesn't care about Los Angeles. He didn't care about Miami. He cares about LeBron. That's what he cares about. He cares about his buddies getting paid. So later on, he can collect those IOUs, so to speak. Dude, I can't get behind. I know I'm the old guy and saying, listen, get off my yard. But at the same time, when that dude walks off the court, 30 seconds, everybody was like, oh, it's just 30 seconds left. There was 5.5 minutes left to play. So 5.5 minutes.
I would like to answer Michael Page's question that he just posed. What will this conversation be when the Lakers win in 7? The conversation will be that LeBron James is a destroyer of cultures.
Yep.
Every culture that he has ever been a part of with a team or a franchise has been worse off when LeBron was done with his tenure there than it was when he came. He destroys franchises and sets them back for decades.
Wait till he leaves Los Angeles, whether to retire or to join his son. The Lakers will not win a championship in 20 years after that.
Pull the next one up because this is funny. So this is absolutely 100% true. I've been watching the playoffs just so I could call Quinn at halftime and be like, hey, they're down 30. What do you want to talk about it?
Much more basketball than I have. It's funny that
I
you didn't answer the call when I called you.
Just so I could be like, hey, Quinn, you want to talk about it? They're down 30 right now.
You didn't answer my call when we were up 30.
Nah, I was busy.
See? Yeah. Did you expect me to answer?
Dude,
Yes.
I'm sorry. If they get past the Suns, they're not going to win a championship.
Don't matter. Nobody's beating the Nets. Who cares?
Well, and that's
Also
the
a
thing.
fact.
That's all we're going to hear is, well, they had to have a super team.
Has anybody watched the Nets, though? Legitimately seen the Nets play yet in the playoffs?
They're disgusting. They just chuck and they just goes in every time.
Good.
I heard, I was listening to Sports Talk Radio a couple days ago, and they were talking about Durant. He's just playing out of his mind because he's got something to prove. He does.
Yeah.
Well, he has something to prove.
Kevin Durant's the best player in the NBA by far.
Yes.
And
next year we can talk about the Lakers when Steph Curry joins them.
No way.
Yes.
Steph Curry will be a Laker.
Well, I'm going to throw up in my mouth just for you.
Ooh.
Oh, we got some bad.
Look at Lakers Nets in the finals next year.
I don't know. I don't know. I think at some point LeBron's going to snap. I think he's going to be broken, and I got to be honest. I'm looking forward to it. At this point, I'm looking forward to it. The dude has.
Listen, after this year, he's going to try and figure out a way to join the Nets.
I wouldn't doubt that. I would not.
LeBron's never been the guy like that. He's like the builder. Like he wants to go somewhere and bring his guys in. He's not going to join a team that's already established.
No, but get ready for those super team references. They're coming, Billy. Well, they got a super team. The Nets are a super team. What do we have? We don't even have AD. LeBron can't win it by himself.
The Nets are probably the most realistic thing to a super team since that Warriors team.
Listen, it really bothers me to hear Lakers fans turn into apologists because The Lakers were a once proud franchise that dominated the NBA for a lot of years, and their fans had nothing to cry about. Now, all of a sudden, they're crying because somebody else did what you did but did it better. Stop it.
Best comment last night after the game, after the Lakers lost, was the one and only true Lakers fan that I know, has been a Lakers fan since we were kids, just put, "Go Dodgers." I mean, that's the way it is. So it'll be interesting. I'm not at all excited about what LeBron James has shown the last few years. Walking out on your teammates is never the right thing to do. Just never is. And no matter what level you're at.
When he eventually, because I think we all agree that he's eventually going to be an owner of a franchise, when he's the owner of a franchise, does he do this mid-game?
He won't own an NBA team.
His team's getting blown out by 40.
LeBron James isn't going to own an NBA team?
No.
I will put a stack on that. And how much is a stack, Mac?
He won't.
1G, baby.
I'll put a G down that LeBron James is the owner. Within 5 years of leaving the NBA, he owns a franchise.
And then his son plays for that team. He would do it just to make sure his son's playing the NBA.
I'd be willing to put 5 stacks of high
His
society
kid is
on
good,
that.
though. Like, Bronny is legitimately an NBA talent.
Nobody can win it by themselves.
The rest of them aren't. But Bronny is.
Okay. All right. It never used to be like that. And if you're saying that, I mean, this is his fault. This is his fault. He made the bed that he's going to sleep in now, right? Because now everybody hates LeBron. All these guys hate LeBron because, okay, you're going to tell us that we're not good enough to come play with you? We'll do it ourselves. Thanks, 23. Appreciate you. Or should they call him 6 because he had so much respect for Jordan that he didn't want 23. Anyway, let's get to our final topic here. I want to get this one real quick. Myles Garrett retires from pickup basketball. So I've got a picture to go with this one from Twitter. He tweets at Mark Cuban and says, "You need a big guard?" And then immediately Kevin Stefanski has to answer the questions about the whole situation. And he says, effectively, that Myles Garrett has retired from pickup basketball. Effective. How do you feel about players doing this stuff? We saw it with Roethlisberger riding bikes around, and we saw it with who was it, Kellen Winslow? You know, he got in trouble with a bike. We're seeing some of these guys get in trouble playing soccer and injuring ligaments and things of that nature. We talked about Trevor Bauer on Running Point today with his drone. I mean, it's not that we don't want these guys to do anything, but when you're investing that much money into a person, there should be some contract situations where you can't really play pickup basketball anymore, Miles.
Can we state the fact that this was a joke anyway? Like, no way he was Myles Garrett's being serious about coming to the Mavs. First off, but he does play pickup basketball, and that's the thing. And am I concerned about it? I was never really concerned about it up to this point. I'm still not concerned about it. I mean, the dude's a freak athlete. Like, and a lot of people do a lot of different things to exercise their bodies and get in shape for whatever season that's coming up. You know, we talked about Sean Merriman used to fight MMA, would actually grapple and fight people before, even in the middle of the season. That was his training regimen. Nobody had an issue with it. They thought he was a tough guy. So I don't really see an issue with however he wants to train his body. Obviously, what he's done has been pretty good up to this point.
Scotty?
Yeah, I don't like this. I mean, and I'm not one of these guys. Like, I'm not the type of dude to say, just, do what you do and that's it. You can't have another life, or like, if a politician says you just shut up and dribble over there. Like, I've never been like, I've never taken it to that extent, but I do feel like they have, when you have a contract, and especially when you're coming off, they paid you a whopper contract after you bashed the QB over the head with your helmet, and they could have just said, "See you later, Miles." I think, in a way, I mean, these guys could do so many other things. They live lives of luxury, and they are getting paid millions. So in a way, I think they do owe it to the franchise and the fans of the team. I just don't, because if he gets hurt, goes down with a serious injury, there's no way the Browns are winning the Super Bowl.
Well,
They're done.
let's face it, Scotty. He's playing every other play anyway for the Browns. I mean, how is this guy getting to 11 on points on the floor?
Hold on for this giant eye
Well,
roll.
we also praise guys like Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders for playing multiple sports. So it's
Listen,
kind
if
of
he's
like,
in the NBA, I got no problem with it. But if a 5'4" nobody like me goes up and goes under him, and he tears an ACL and he's out for the year, I bet you have some problems with it then.
Yeah,
Listen,
I'd be really angry.
These guys are all so competitive. It's hard to keep them from doing things like that.
this is a PR dream though, right? Because now you can make a thing out of it. You could do, like Myles Garrett's retirement party for his pickup game Jurassic Park uniform and give away the jersey at the first home game or something like that. There's all kinds of fun stuff that you can do with this. So I love the fact that he's quote unquote retiring from it.
Quinn?
Great. Great. Who cares? He wasn't doing anything. He was playing in the park. Who cares?
Was he playing in the park? I mean,
he wasn't playing for the Cavs. I know that.
Well, it looked
They
like he was
stunk,
playing.
so I know
like
he wasn't
an
playing
indoor
there.
arena.
Yeah, he's playing it. There's a YMCA that's up in Crocker Park that he's playing at.
I play at the YMCA in Boardman. There you go. Woo! Who
Quinn,
cares?
we got to talk about that in your contract. You don't make enough power hours to be doing that. We got to make sure that we.
I retire. I'm sorry. I retire from pickup basketball too.
There you go.
Put me on ESPN.
A bunch of guys are playing a celebrity softball game, and a lot of people are worried about it. I mean, listen, it's legit. It's legit.
I think Quinn's retiring from pickup basketball because he's afraid to face a true legend.
I'll meet you on the block. I'll wait.
Oh, I'm not talking about me.
You just have to go 4 yards away, man.
I ain't worried about anybody on this panel playing me in basketball.
Michael Page, if you're at the plate and you have a pitcher like Bree Callow, I can't wait to watch Bree strike you out.
Smoke. That is going to put a wrap on the topics for today, which leads us into many people's favorite portion of the broadcast, which is the G. Burbick Farms What's Your Beef, What's Your Filet, brought to you by our friends over at G. Burbick Farms on New Buffalo Road, or just get over to gburbickfarms.com. I almost plugged herself. gburbickfarms.com, and from their farm to your freezer, you can have the best meat this side of the Mississippi. Quinn, let's lead us off.
It's a filet. Straight filet. Coach K, happy retirement. You need help packing up your office? I'll come pack it for you. See you later. Bye-bye, Duke.
All right. Super Dave. Oh, he's out.
Have a filet.
Scotty, what is your beef? What is your filet?
He's going to take a play.
Dave, you're supposed to mic drop after.
Yeah, I have one of each today. And I guess I'll start with my filet. My filet is, to much of my surprise, the Indians have played ball this season a lot better than I thought they would, and it could still end up being pretty bad. But right now they're hanging in there, and they played scrappy. They don't really, they have a lineup that is average at best, I think, in their starting pitching, even though it's been good, not as good as in the past, but they're still hanging in. So my filet is the Indians. My beef is with people, and this isn't just women or men, it's both. I know they both got to be doing this. But it's with people on dating sites.
Oh boy.
When you look at, their, beliefs or whatever you want to say, and they have spiritual but not religious. It's like, to me, come on, pick a side. Like, do I got to go to church with you or not? Like, why you, like, what is this spiritual but not religious? Like, I don't want to sit and meditate. I have to do that every other day. It's like, come on, pick us. It's like someone that's bisexual. It's
Oh
like,
boy. I'm cutting Scotty off. I'm cutting him off. Scotty got muted. Scotty got muted. That's it. That's it for Scotty. He got muted. He was going for the big finish, and I just nope, not a chance, Scooter. Let's go to Coach. What do you have?
Yeah, so I'm going with a beef today, and I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but the Oakland A's, one of their minor league teams, had a doubleheader, and in between games, they served meals to the teams. And you would think, hey, you're going to get a pretty decent meal. No, instead they got one big lump of coleslaw and 2 pieces of white bread with a piece of Kraft single in between, and a little slice of lettuce and a little bit of tomato.
Where was it?
Not even any meat. In Oakland.
Why do you think they're trying to leave Oakland? Like, they've been trying to leave Oakland for 5 years. It ain't the team, it's the damn city. Hot mess.
Your team's heading for Las Vegas.
Oh, rough. Sorry, Kate, I had to do it. We have sponsors.
Is Scotty still yelling back there?
He's still giving.
He's on one.
He's still going. Look at him go. He's muted. Scotty, you're on suspension for the next 5 minutes. Scotty's in timeout. Mac, what do you have?
My beef today is, I guess, my car and a battery. It's ridiculous how much they cost right now. I don't remember the last time I bought a battery, but I want to say I was in somewhere the ballpark of $80, and now I'm triple that. So I'm pretty disgusted. I have a car battery pack that I have to jumpstart my car with just so I can leave Astro right now.
I used to have to do that with my tractor, my riding mower. That is so ghetto. Like, I had the comfort in the shielding of my garage. I can only imagine you're trying to get that baby started as fast as you can.
It's also raining.
Oh, that's rough. Mine is gonna be. Listen, I got a heads up that the cost of chicken wings has gone up over 50%, and then gone up again, and then gone up again. So chicken wings are going to cost like $3 a wing here pretty soon. It's going to be like a gallon of gas. What the hell is going on? Like, this is not to be political, not to be like what. It's a chicken wing. Is there a shortage on chickens right now? What? Why are they going up? I don't understand it. It's taken away from one of my favorite parts of tailgating, my favorite parts of the summer, eating chicken wings that are barbecued and things like that. Come on, man. Like, you're better off getting just a regular chicken. Like, do I have to go buy my own chickens then? Like, do I have to make my own chicken wings? What is this?
Well, during COVID, Betos went around and started eating up all the chicken wings.
It does not surprise me that this involves Betos. It does.
There you go. I solved it. I solved the mystery.
$25 of chicken wings at Sheetz does not go as far anymore for Jeff Betos. So good luck, JB. We appreciate you contributing to a national chicken shortage, apparently. So that's going to do it for the show. Scotty, any final thoughts? Hang on. There you go.
To say, DJ, I know where the line is. Like, I wasn't going to cross it. I guess you thought I did already. But, yeah, I love you, man. It won't happen. I just had to get that out. It won't happen again.
Let it out, buddy. It's just the exhaust. All right, that's going to do it for us here on the Power Hour. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. We will have a special look-in, as far as we know, about 3 o'clock for the Canfield versus Salem game, which Richie and I will be calling. So tune in for that. And if not, I'm telling you, $9.99 is going to go a long way tomorrow with baseball. So tune in for Mac and tune in for Matt with the South Range game. Excited for the amount of games we got going on tomorrow. It's going to be big, it's going to be epic, and it's going to be right here on your sports network. Until tomorrow, so long, everybody.